Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat pennies coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, in the world of numismatics, there are few coins that capture the imagination like the iconic 1950 wheat penny. A symbol of American history and a treasure to collectors, this humble 1-cent coin, which was minted over 70 years ago, has risen to legendary status due to its rarity, unique features, and the incredible value it commands today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or just someone who's fascinated by rare finds, you're in for a real treat. Let's dive into the history, rarity, and value of the 1950 wheat penny, a coin that has become one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. First things first, the wheat penny is named for the wheat stalks that appear on the reverse side of the coin. It was minted in the United States from 1909 until 1958, making it a piece of history that's closely tied to the American experience during much of the 20th century. The obverse side features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that remains unchanged for over a century. Now, when we talk about the 1950 wheat penny, we're discussing a coin that, while seemingly common at first glance, actually holds remarkable potential for collectors. But what makes this coin so special? The answer lies in its rarity and the specific characteristics that can elevate it from being a simple penny to a true collector's gem. Let's start with the basics. The 1950 wheat penny was minted in significant quantities, over 1 billion of them. So, at first glance, it might seem like you could find one in your spare change or easily purchase one for a few cents. However, the true value comes from certain variations and errors that are so rare they command astronomical prices. To understand this, you need to know about the concept of error coins, which are mistakes made during the minting process. Error coins are highly sought after because they are unique, often one-of-a-kind pieces that didn't meet the original specifications. One of the most important things to note about the 1950 wheat penny is the variety of the mint mark. The U.S. Mint produces coins at different locations, and these coins are identified by a small letter placed near the date on the obverse side. For the 1950 wheat penny, there were three distinct versions: the Philadelphia Mint, which did not have a mint mark, the Denver Mint, with a D, and the San Francisco Mint, with an S. While the Denver and San Francisco versions are more common, it's the Philadelphia variety that really sparks the interest of collectors. But here's where it gets really exciting. As with many coins, the condition plays a major role in determining its value. A coin that is in excellent condition, free from wear and damage, will fetch a much higher price. The grade of the coin is assessed based on its appearance, with higher grades like MS-65 or MS-66 demanding more attention and more money. Coins that have been well preserved for decades, with clear and crisp details, are rare and thus far more valuable. However, the real jackpot for collectors lies in specific error coins that occurred during the minting of the 1950 wheat penny. One of the most famous errors is the 1950 D over D variety. What happened here is that, in some cases, the mint mistakenly struck the D mint mark over a previously struck D. This double mint mark is extremely rare and highly sought after, as it's one of the most notable mistakes in U.S. coinage history. The value of these error coins can be significantly higher than their regular counterparts, sometimes reaching prices that will make any collector's jaw drop. Beyond the errors, another factor that increases the worth of the 1950 wheat penny is the overall demand for Lincoln wheat pennies. As the years go by, the number of these coins in pristine condition continues to shrink, and their value grows as a result. Collectors are always on the lookout for these coins, and the more rare and unique the coin is, the higher its price will climb. And now, the moment that you've all been waiting for: just how much is a 1950 wheat penny worth? Well, let's just say this coin is not just a simple piece of change. If you happen to come across a 1950 wheat penny that's in impeccable condition or has the rare D over D error, you could be looking at a windfall. Some of these coins have been sold for as much as $76,000. Yes, that's $76,000 in words. That's the kind of money you can expect if you find a particularly rare or well-preserved 1950 wheat penny. But don't just take my word for it. There are auction records and sales that prove just how valuable these pennies can be. When a coin of this rarity hits the market, collectors from around the world will compete for the chance to own a piece of history. And the price only continues to rise as more and more people realize just how incredible these coins are. For those of you who are serious about coin collecting, the 1950 wheat penny should be on your radar. Whether you're just starting your collection or you're a seasoned numismatist, there's no denying the importance of this iconic coin. It's a symbol of American history, an incredible investment opportunity, and a chance to own a piece of the past that could one day be worth a small fortune. So, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare 1950 wheat pennies, whether it's in your pocket change or buried in a coin jar, take a moment to appreciate its significance. Who knows? You might just be holding onto a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 2. I want to talk to you about a coin that has captured the fascination of collectors for decades, the 1952 wheat penny. It might seem like a small, humble piece of currency, but believe me when I say this penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. The 1952 wheat penny isn't just a part of American history. For the right collector, it's a ticket to a treasure trove of value, rare finds, and even life-changing money. Now, let's start with the basics. You've probably seen the wheat penny before, with its iconic design that has been a part of U.S. currency since the early 1900s. On the front, you'll find the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved figures in American history. On the back, the reverse side features 2 stalks of wheat, which is why it earned the nickname wheat penny. These coins were made in large numbers from 1909 until 1958, but the 1952 edition has a special place in the hearts of collectors due to some very unique features that make it stand out from the rest. Here's the thing that makes the 1952 wheat penny so interesting. Even though over 1 billion of these coins were produced, their value has skyrocketed for certain types, specifically, for those with rarer mint marks, in pristine condition, or with certain minting errors. Let's break it down. The 1952 wheat penny came in 3 varieties depending on where it was minted: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, with an S mint mark. Most people think of the Philadelphia variety as the most common, but if you're lucky enough to come across a Denver or San Francisco mint mark version, you could be sitting on a real gem. But we're just getting started here. Let's talk about what really makes these coins valuable. It's the minting errors that truly elevate the 1952 wheat penny from ordinary to extraordinary. These errors aren't just mistakes, they're prized collectibles. One of the most interesting errors is the repunched mint mark error, which occurs when the mint mark is accidentally struck more than once. If you look closely, you might notice that the mint mark has multiple layers, causing it to appear slightly off-center. These coins are incredibly rare, and if you find one, you could be looking at a treasure worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Another key error to watch for is the double die variety, which happens when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, causing a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin. This could affect the date, the lettering, or even the image of Lincoln. The double die variety is one of the most famous errors in the world of numismatics, and if you find a 1952 wheat penny with this rare feature, you could be sitting on something incredibly valuable. But here's where it gets even more exciting. It's not just about the errors or mint marks. The condition of the coin is everything. Coins that have been well preserved for decades, those that show little to no wear, are much more valuable than those that have seen heavy circulation. Coins with a high grade, such as MS-65 or MS-66, are especially sought after by collectors. These are the coins that can fetch a premium, even in a world where the original mintage was so high. The better the condition, the more collectors are willing to pay for them. Now, let's talk about the moment you've all been waiting for, the value of the 1952 wheat penny. This is where things get really exciting. You may be wondering, how much could a simple 1-cent coin be worth? Well, when you take into account factors like rare mint marks, minting errors, and exceptional condition, the value of the 1952 wheat penny can climb into the tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, some of these rare, pristine specimens have been known to sell for as much as $71,000. Yes, that's $71,000 in words, and that's no exaggeration. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies, you could be looking at a fortune. Just imagine for a second, how incredible would it be if you found one of these rare 1952 wheat pennies tucked away in a coin jar or buried in a box of loose change. For a coin collector, that's the kind of discovery that could completely change your life. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things come in the smallest packages. For those of you just starting your coin collection journey, the 1952 wheat penny should definitely be on your radar. It's an affordable coin to collect, and it's one that could easily lead you to a much higher value find if you keep an eye out for those rare mint marks or errors. As you learn more about coin grading and errors, you'll be able to identify these hidden treasures with ease. Whether you're a serious numismatist or just a casual enthusiast, the 1952 wheat penny is a coin that holds a lot of potential. So, next time you're looking through your change, or visiting a coin shop, take a moment to look for those special details, those mint marks, those errors, and that condition. You just might have a rare find in your hands that could be worth a small fortune. Top 3. Let's take a deep dive into a coin that holds a special place in the world of numismatics, the 1944 wheat penny. Now, I know what you might be thinking, it's just a penny. But this particular 1-cent piece is far from ordinary. It's a coin that, when found in the right condition or with the right errors, can be worth thousands of dollars. We're talking about a penny that could be worth more than $79,000. Yes, that's $79,000 in words, and today, we're going to explore what makes this 1944 wheat penny such a rare and valuable find for collectors. The 1944 wheat penny is part of a series of coins that were produced between 1909 and 1958, and they're known for their iconic design featuring the wheat stalks on the reverse side and the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. These pennies were minted in large quantities, especially during World War II, which is where the story of the 1944 wheat penny takes a very interesting turn. In 1944, the U.S. Mint had a bit of a problem on their hands. Due to the war effort, copper was in short supply, and the mint was forced to switch up the materials used to make the pennies. Instead of the usual copper, the 1944 pennies were made using steel coated in a thin layer of zinc. However, after the war, the mint went back to using the original copper composition for the pennies. But it wasn't just the change in material that made the 1944 wheat penny unique, it was the errors, variations, and rare features that came with some of them. One of the most significant factors that can affect the value of a 1944 wheat penny is its composition. The standard 1944 wheat penny is made of copper, but some rare examples were accidentally struck using leftover steel planchets from 1943, the year that most pennies were made of steel due to wartime copper shortages. If you come across a 1944 penny that is made of steel, it is considered an extreme rarity, and it's a mistake that can turn an otherwise common coin into something incredibly valuable. Steel pennies from 1944 are incredibly rare, and one of these rare coins could easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Imagine finding a coin that was mistakenly made of steel instead of copper. Such a discovery would be a collector's dream. These rare pennies are known for their dull, silvery appearance, and they stand out from the regular copper pennies of the same year. But let's not forget about the other factors that can make a 1944 wheat penny valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Like with all coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1944 wheat penny that has been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, can sell for much more than a well-worn one. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the best possible grade, and if you can find a 1944 wheat penny in an uncirculated or mint condition, you could be holding on to a true treasure. Additionally, some 1944 wheat pennies feature striking mint errors that can drastically increase their value. One such error is known as the double die variety. This happens when the design is struck twice during the minting process, causing a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin. For the 1944 wheat penny, this could mean that the date, the lettering, or even the image of Lincoln appears twice, making it a unique and highly sought-after variation. Collectors love finding these types of error coins because they are not only fascinating, but they're also incredibly rare. If you happen to find a 1944 wheat penny with a double die error, especially in excellent condition, you could be looking at a significant windfall. The rarity of this error makes these coins highly collectible and incredibly valuable. It's one of the key reasons why this penny is so exciting to collectors. So, you might be wondering, how much could a 1944 wheat penny really be worth? Well, when you take into account factors like the steel composition, mint errors, and excellent condition, some of these coins have sold for as much as $79,000. That's $79,000 in words, and it's the kind of price tag that can make your jaw drop. Imagine finding a single penny worth that much. It's like finding a hidden treasure right under your nose. If you're a coin collector, this is the kind of discovery that makes the hunt so thrilling. Whether you're just getting started in the hobby or you've been collecting for years, the 1944 wheat penny is a coin that should definitely be on your radar. It's not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of American history that holds the potential for serious value. For those of you who are new to coin collecting, don't worry. You don't have to spend a fortune to start hunting for valuable coins. The 1944 wheat penny is relatively easy to find, and with a little knowledge and patience, you might just stumble upon one of these rare and valuable coins. Keep an eye out for steel pennies, mint errors, and coins in excellent condition. You never know what treasure you might find next. Coin collecting is an exciting and rewarding hobby, and coins like the 1944 wheat penny are what make it so special. Every coin has its own story, and each one carries with it the potential for a unique discovery. So, the next time you come across a 1944 wheat penny, take a moment to examine it closely. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined, and who knows, you might just find one worth $79,000. Top 4. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of American coin collecting, where even the smallest piece of change can hold extraordinary value. Get ready, because we're uncovering the secrets of a legendary coin, the 1958 wheat penny. That's right, just 1 cent, minted over 6 decades ago, could now be worth a small fortune. But not just any 1958 penny, we're talking about the rarest of the rare. A coin so unique, so desirable among collectors, that it could command a jaw-dropping value of $63,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $63,000 in words for a single penny. Now let's talk about what makes the 1958 wheat penny such an incredible find. For starters, this coin is part of the beloved wheat penny series, officially called the Lincoln Wheat Cent. This iconic design was first minted in 1909 and ran through 1958, making the 1958 version the final year of this historic design. That's right, this penny marks the end of an era. After 1958, the U.S. Mint switched to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, closing the chapter on nearly 50 years of wheat ears gracing the back of the humble cent. The obverse still features the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, while the reverse displays 2 curved stalks of wheat surrounding the words, 1 cent. Simple, elegant, and now, very collectible, but the story doesn't stop there. The 1958 wheat penny was minted at 2 locations, Philadelphia, which issued coins without a mint mark, and Denver, which used a small d under the date. Both versions are relatively common in circulated condition, and you can find most of them in average grades for just a few cents. So how, you might ask, does a penny like this skyrocket in value? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and most importantly, errors. Let's talk about one of the most famous and sought-after errors in coin history, the double die obverse. This error occurs during the minting process, when the coin die, the tool used to stamp the coin, impresses the design onto the blank more than once but slightly misaligned. The result? Letters and numbers appear with a double effect that's visible to the naked eye. It's a fascinating flaw that turns an ordinary penny into a high-value collectible, and here's where it gets really exciting. The 1958 double die obverse wheat penny is among the rarest and most valuable double die coins ever discovered. Only a very limited number of these error coins were produced, and even fewer have survived in pristine condition. The doubling is most clearly seen in the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as the date itself. When a coin like this is found in uncirculated or mint state condition, collectors go absolutely wild. Now, if you ever come across a 1958 penny and think it looks a little off, take a closer look. Examine the lettering under a magnifying glass. Look at the date. Is there visible doubling? Is it unusually crisp and sharp with little to no wear? If so, you may have something extremely special in your hands, but doubling isn't the only thing collectors look for. Even a regular 1958 wheat penny can fetch a nice price if it's in exceptional condition. Coins that have been professionally graded as MS-67 or higher, meaning they are nearly perfect, can demand premium prices from serious collectors who are chasing the finest known specimens of every year. Condition is everything in the coin world, and those with brilliant red color and flawless surfaces are considered the cream of the crop. Now here's a detail that every collector should know. Because 1958 marked the last year of the wheat penny series, there's increased demand simply due to its historical importance. Collectors want a complete set, and the final year coin is always a must-have. Add a rare error into the mix, and the value climbs exponentially. Let's not forget how important certification is. If you believe you have a rare or valuable penny, especially one that shows signs of doubling or is in outstanding condition, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A verified grade can turn your suspicion into certainty and dramatically boost your coin's market value. Now, let's talk numbers, the part you've all been waiting for. A genuine 1958 double-die obverse wheat penny, in top-tier mint condition, has sold at major auctions for as much as $63,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $63,000 in words, for a single penny that you might find in a forgotten drawer, old coin collection, or inherited stash of change. That kind of discovery is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. The idea that a small, overlooked coin could be a life-changing treasure? It keeps collectors searching, inspecting, and dreaming. And with so many coins still hiding out in private collections, there's always a chance that one of these rare 1958-era pennies could be found again. So, whether you're new to the hobby or a seasoned collector, remember this: always check your change. Always inspect your old coins. You never know what historical and monetary value may be hiding in plain sight. The 1958 wheat penny is more than just the end of a design era, it's a symbol of how the smallest details can make the biggest difference. Who knows? The next time you pick up a penny, you might just be holding $63,000 in the palm of your hand. Top 5, and last unique coin, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in American history, a tiny copper piece that most people would never look twice at. Yes, we're talking about the 1957 wheat penny. It might look like just another old penny, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. What if I told you that one of these coins, under the right conditions, could be worth as much as $65,000? That's right, $65,000 in words. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's unravel the story behind this humble yet extraordinary piece of American currency. Now, the wheat penny series, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, began in 1909 and continued until 1958. The design is classic. On the front, you have Abraham Lincoln, and on the back, two elegant stalks of wheat that curve inward to frame the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. By 1957, the series was nearing its end, with only one more year of production before the reverse design switched to the Lincoln Memorial. That fact alone makes 1957 wheat pennies interesting to collectors. It represents the second-to-last year of a legendary coin series that spanned nearly 50 years, but while millions of these pennies were struck in 1957, not all of them are created equal. The majority were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, marked by the presence, or absence, of the small d beneath the date. Most circulated freely through the American economy, used to buy candy bars, newspapers, and bus fares. But some stayed hidden. Protected. Untouched. And a very small number came with minting errors that turned them into treasures. This is where the real story begins. Let's first talk about what makes the 1957 wheat penny valuable. While the average example might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars depending on condition, there are rare varieties and special errors that elevate this coin into the spotlight. These are the coins that collectors dream of. One of the most famous and valuable types of 1957 wheat pennies is the double die error. This error occurs during the minting process when the die, used to stamp the design onto the blank coin, is misaligned or strikes the coin more than once. The result is a doubling effect that's visible on the date, the lettering, and sometimes even Lincoln's portrait. These double die coins are extremely rare and highly desirable. They offer a glimpse into a minting mishap that somehow slipped through quality control, and now they're treasured mistakes, each one worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars depending on its condition. Another type of error to look for in the 1957 wheat penny is the repunched mint mark, often seen on coins minted in Denver. In these cases, the D was punched into the die more than once, causing a shadow effect or multiple impressions of the letter. These too can be quite valuable, especially when paired with high grades of preservation, but let's not forget the importance of coin grading. Even without a dramatic error, a 1957 wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, one that has never been touched by human hands, and has no blemishes, no wear, and maintains its original red luster, is highly collectible. These coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with anything graded MS-65 or higher considered a premium quality example. Collectors are willing to pay impressive prices for top-grade coins, particularly from the final years of the wheat penny series. Now, combine that high-grade condition with a dramatic error like a double die or a repunched mint mark, and you have something truly special. A coin that doesn't just belong in a change jar, it belongs in a museum, or at the very least, in the prized collection of a serious numismatist. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have a rare 1957 wheat penny? It all starts with observation. First, look at the date and the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling in the numbers or letters. Then examine the coin's overall appearance. Does it look brand new? Is it bright red, like the day it left the mint? Or does it show wear and tear from decades of circulation? Even small differences in sharpness and luster can mean the difference between a coin worth $1 and a coin worth thousands. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can a 1957 wheat penny really be worth? Well, one particular example of a 1957 wheat penny with a double die error, struck in brilliant red uncirculated condition, was sold at auction for an astounding $65,000. Yes, that's $65,000 in words. For one penny. A coin that could easily have slipped through someone's fingers and into a cash register, never to be seen again. That's the magic of coin collecting. The thrill of the hunt. The possibility that an unassuming piece of copper sitting in your drawer, or buried in your grandfather's old coin jar, could actually be a rare and valuable treasure waiting to be discovered. It's not just about money, it's about history, rarity, and the joy of finding something special where you least expect it. So, what should you do if you come across a 1957 wheat penny? Don't dismiss it. Take a moment. Look at the details. If it looks sharp, uncirculated, or shows signs of doubling, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service. Because you never know, you could be holding a piece of American history worth $65,000. Whether you're just beginning your journey as a collector or you're a seasoned numismatist, the 1957 wheat penny reminds us all that even the smallest coin can hold incredible stories and stunning value. Keep your eyes open, your magnifier handy, and happy hunting.